This is Fairfax County, a place well known for its multicultural communities and acceptance of racial and social diversity. A place where discrimination and bias actions are not acceptable. If you think you have faced unlawful discrimination in housing, employment, private education, credit, or public accommodations, help is available through the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs.
The mission of the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs is ensuring equal opportunity and promoting justice, diversity, and inclusiveness by protecting the civil rights of all people living and working in Fairfax County. We investigate complaints alleging violations of the Fairfax County's Human Rights Ordinance and manage the county's Fair Housing Plan. We also administer the county's equal employment enforcement and ensure the county's compliance with all federal, state, and county mandates, granting equal access to all services, programs, and work opportunities.
The Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs handles complaints of illegal discrimination on the basis of age, 40 years or more in employment, elderliness, 55 or more in housing, color, childbirth and pregnancy in employment, disability or handicap, familial status in housing, genetic information in employment, marital status, military status in housing, national origin, race, religion, sex, including sexual harassment, gender identity, and sexual orientation, source of funds in housing, and retaliation for complaining of discrimination.
As of July 1st, 2020, the county's Human Rights Ordinance was amended, including protections for individuals facing discrimination in housing on the basis of their source of funds, such as attempting to use a housing choice voucher or other subsidy, and military status in housing. And in June of 2022, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development extended the definition of race to include discrimination based on one's criminal history when applying for housing. There are also many questions we receive about the rights of disabled individuals to have support animals in housing or unlawfully being assessed fees in order for assistance animals to be approved. Sometimes we are unable to move forward on a complaint because either the subject matter is not covered by law or the complaint is not based on one of the protected classes under the ordinance. In the cases where we can't proceed a complaint, we still make every effort to connect people with resources that are helpful to their particular case.
If you believe you have been the victim of unlawful discrimination, you may initiate the screening process by completing an online questionnaire or by contacting the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs by phone. After review, if your complaint is covered by law, you can make an appointment to discuss your concern with a human rights specialist.
So we like for people to initiate the intake screening process by filling out the online questionnaire first. This helps people identify if their complaint is one that the OREP may have jurisdiction over. It's good to know before someone completes an intake appointment whether or not we have jurisdiction to assist them in filing a complaint. Another way is to start the complaint process by calling or stopping by our office to schedule an intake appointment. So we have set aside Wednesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for walk-in intakes. However, I would encourage everyone to please call the office ahead of time in order to schedule an intake appointment, just because there may be changes in the future. So we offer having intake appointments done via video conference, such as Microsoft Teams, in person, or via telephone. We ask people to really be prepared before beginning the intake screening process. They should have notes, information, details about who they're filing against, so the respondent. It could be an individual, an organization, an entity, about the time, location, details pertinent to the alleged incidents of discrimination. That's all information that's very useful and helpful for the intake process.
After your discussion with the human rights specialist, if appropriate, they can assist you in formulating a complaint to sign.
So during the investigation process, an investigator will collect documentation and evidence from the parties involved. So the complainant, the individuals or entities that are named in the complaint as respondents. We also typically conduct interviews with the parties involved. Following that, we provide the complainant an opportunity to rebut the defenses provided by the respondent. The time it takes to investigate a complaint can vary. It greatly depends on the facts of the case, the numbers of allegations in the complaint, as well as the office's overall caseload.
When the investigation is complete, a final investigative report is issued outlining whether or not the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs determined there was sufficient evidence for a finding of discrimination. If there is not enough evidence to support the claim, your case may be dismissed. If the evidence supports the claim, you, the complainant, may, in some instances, receive relief to remedy the type of discriminatory conduct you were subject to, such as back pay, job reinstatement, approval to rent an apartment, and reimbursement of fees assessed in housing. Acts of discrimination compromise millions of lives daily. No one should face injustice in any form. If it happens to you, the Office of Human Rights and Equity Programs is here to help. For more information, call 703-324-2953, TTY 711, or go to fairfaxcounty.gov/human rights.